first, we have Jared and Lindley Lynch of Mountain Berry Bowls. Jared and Lynley are married business partners who started Mountain Berry Bowls, a food truck, specializing in all-natural acai smoothie bowls in June of 2015. Since then, they have grown their business to 6 food trucks in Whitefish, Kalispell, and Missoula. Let's give it up for Lindley and Jared.
Is this the remote? All right.
Hi, I'm Jared Lynch, and this is my wife, Lindley Lynch, and we own Mountain Berry Bowls food trucks. Tonight, we're going to talk to you about how we transitioned from our full-time careers to starting Mountain Berry Bowls. But first, a little backstory. We had the idea for acai and a trip to Hawaii. That wasn't the first time that I expressed my desire to Lindley for opening a food truck, though.
It was not. I remember when we had first started dating, we were driving from Missoula to Whitefish, and we saw a food truck. Jared saw a food truck on the side of the road and was so excited. He swerved off, and he's like, this was the first time I had seen this passion, and I thought it was cute and funny, but it definitely did not fit into our lives at that point of time.
For sure. Yeah, so there we were 4 years later, sitting on a beach in Hawaii, drinking an overpriced, unhealthy smoothie, and I thought to Lindley, I said to Lindley, man, we do this way better at home. And right when I said that, I saw a light go off in her head, and her being the go-getter that she is, we continued that conversation in Hawaii and on into Montana.
At that time, I was teaching 2nd grade at Muldown Elementary, and I loved it, absolutely. Jared was at Sportsman's, and he loved his job as well. But this was about 1.5 years into marriage for us, and we realized that we weren't spending enough time together, and that is really important to us. We were working a lot and just not really being able to see each other. So we thought that by having this idea to do a business together, we could do just that. We could spend more time together, and initially, that was our goal.
Yeah, so we got home from Hawaii, and I bought a little 12x7 utility trailer and turned it into our first Mountain Berry Bowls. We opened our doors June 30th, 2015, which was a Whitefish Farmers Market, and that day was filled with a lot of emotions. We were unsure how the community was going to take it. It was a new product to Whitefish. We opened our doors and we were completely slammed. We pretty much sold out of all of our product. And
it was crazy.
I looked at Lindley and I was like, holy cow, we're going to open again tomorrow. We need to go to the store and get product. So from then until now, we've opened 4 food trucks in the Flathead Valley, and we're opening 2 in Missoula this summer.
There's the Whitefish one. There's the one we have in Kalispell. So since we were both working full-time careers when we had this idea, it really dictated a lot of the decisions that we made in the very beginning, and one of those was to be seasonal. And that was because it worked with my teaching schedule. We were like, hey, I bet we could do a little side gig in the summer and see each other's faces. But either we really poorly planned that or just fully underestimated the potential of our business, because that then led to me working full-time around the clock, and it was crazy, to say the least. And I was doing 2 things that I love with my whole entire heart, and it was really hard. I had to make the most difficult decision that I've ever made, and that was to resign from teaching last summer. But it opened so many doors for us, and we're really thankful that we took that route, even though it was super difficult.
Yeah. There isn't a day that goes by that we don't hear from somebody, man, isn't it awesome that you guys get to work hard all summer long and then shred POW all winter and go have fun and go on amazing trips? Well, yes, that is true. We do get to do that. We work extremely hard all year round in preparing our business for the summer to come.
But first, we played. We got off of a crazy busy summer, and we got in our Sprinter van with our dog and our bikes and our surfboards, and we traveled for 2 months. And it was the most rejuvenating thing for our souls because the summer was just straight hustle the entire time. And we come back to the most amazing winter we've ever had. And it's just been such a drastic change from working 40-hour-a-week jobs to fully working for ourselves. But we've really enjoyed the flexibility that comes along with that because we're able to shred all day and then come home and work until as late as we want until the night. And we have been working on a lot. I won't go into too much of that, but one of those things is building out food trucks. We bought 3 more, which I remember we said last year we'll never do that again, but then we did. And Jared is the complete rock star when it comes to that. He will come home, he'll call me on the way home from the shop and he'll be like, I just finished welding the back door and I plumbed the trailer. And I'm like, where did you learn how to do that? It's amazing. And we've learned that being in business together, it can be really tough, but it also allows us to see one another in our very best light. And I've seen him, I'm gonna talk you up for a little second here, but I've seen him take a really junky UPS truck and turn it into a fashionable food truck. And when we decided to open one, oh, there's one more picture. Come on. When we decided to open one, there he is. In Kalispell, we had a month to get ready, and he took a flatbed trailer and built it up into a tiny home food truck that we serve out of in Kalispell. And so by doing business together, even through the rough times, we see each other and we appreciate each other so much because there's no way that we could do this business on our own.
For sure. But we are super thankful for our careers that we had before Mountain Berry Bowls. I worked at Sportsman and Ski House. I ran the snowboard department and the bike department in Kalispell. And with that came some buying as well as some inventory, which are 2 skills that we use in our business every single day. And Lynly, being a 2nd grade teacher, she was able to hold the attention of 20 2nd graders like nobody I've ever seen before. And now I get to see that in our business every day as she trains employees and holds relationships with people around the valley.
I want to encourage anyone in this room who has an idea because, it starts really small like we did with Mountain Berry Bowls. To take a risk and go for it. And I knew, this was at the beginning, when we were starting Mountain Berry Bowls, I knew that no one loved me more than Jared and my family and my 2nd graders. So one day at story time, I unintentionally formed a little focus group with them, and it was so needed. But I was sitting down with them, and after I read the book, I was like, hey guys, if I start a food, they said, you can come to my birthday party. So I remember going home and going, well, if we don't do well in Whitefish, at least we can do some 8-year-old birthday parties this summer, and then we can close it down. But I wanted to also say that at that first farmer's market, almost all 22 of those guys were at the market, and it was pretty amazing. So sure. I encourage you to go for it.
Yeah, for sure. So we quickly wanted to touch on how we balance business with our personal life because it can be all-consuming and overwhelming, especially when we're deep into the summer season. And just like last week, we opened in our Kalispell location 3 weeks earlier than we ever have before because the weather was consistently so nice. And we just always have to remember to put what's most important to us first. And whether that's investing time into our relationship, going on a date night, or doing something for ourselves, or going out and enjoying the beautiful place that we live, why we live here, going on a mountain bike ride, going on a hike, getting out and doing something active.
So important.
Yeah.
This has been and will continue to be a very influential quote in our lives as we run Mountain Berry Bowls. Whenever we start feeling overwhelmed, we ask ourselves, what is the next tangible thing we can do to get us going in the right direction? The way we tackle business is the way we tackle hiking a peak. One step, one more step. We're going to need to hold hands on this step, babe, but we're going to get it to the next step. And last year, we instituted the Peak a Week program, which I highly recommend. Every Sunday, even though we were ridiculously busy, we could have done a million things on Sunday and gotten prepared for the next week, but we woke up early, we headed into the park or into the Swan, wherever. This was on top of Great Northern, and we hiked a peak together. And it just put everything into perspective. When, when the future looks really intimidating and there's a lot to do, or business looks anything, it's just one step after the next, just like when you're hiking a peak.
For sure. So in closing, we just want to encourage you. It's worth the risk. We had an idea and we went with it, and we've seen hard work pay off in the Flathead Valley, and we're excited to see what our expansion to Missoula will look like in the next few weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.